Welcome to Spiritual Badass TV, Bhanu Foxley. Yay! Bhanu, I know you have a really inspiring story, so I'm just going to let you roll with it.
My life really changed. I was brought up in India. In India, I was born a few years after the independence of India, and India got its independence in 1947. I was born 1951, and we were left with a lot of stuff from the British, where um, dark skin was bad, white skin was good, and my mother was brought up with that, and she always had this idea that we have to make our skin white, and things like that, put creams on and stuff like that. And my mom always said, we're not good enough, we're not good enough. Always heard that same story, and everybody should study and become a doctor or a lawyer or something professional. And of course, I hated school, I hated studying, and I was like zero everywhere. I used to get a lot of beating for not studying, not doing anything. And my mother always said, "Oh, you will never amount to anything. You will never amount to anything." She went on. It was just went on and on. And I always felt that I was the bottom, I was no good at all. I was nobody. And I'll never amount to anything. I had this, but I also had a fight in me where I wanted to go and fight with people and say, "This is my right. I have to have this." And luckily, we moved to England after my father died. He died when I was about 17, 16, 17, something like that. I started working as a secretary, and I worked there, and still I was carrying my baggage, with the old family baggage all the time. And then I met Steve many years later, and then we got married. I met him in England, and we got married. And after that, I was still in a bad mood. I was always angry all the time with everybody fighting, fighting. And then one day I said, I have to stop this fight. I can't do this anymore. And that's when I discovered a lady here where I live. She's dead now, but she was a wonderful kinesiologist, and she really helped me to understand that past, how it plays, on us. So I worked on that, and she helped me. And then I went into learning about this, and I learned a bit. Still, of course, I'm not a studious type. I hate studying. So I like to rely on intuition. And I've always liked magic. I was already working as an emotional counselor, and I use kinesiology as a basis to find out whether people are telling the truth or not. Because a lot of people are blocked about their own stuff. And my job is to like go to the core issue where they're blocked and help them release it. And it all happened just magically for me. It all opened up magically because I was working on my own stuff for many, many years. And I started in 1986. I started on my journey. And suddenly, in 2003, I was on a workshop with Debbie Ford, the Shadow Workshop, and I was on a cruise, and I was telling my story. Oh, how sad I am! Oh, how crazy it is for me! And then I got a lot of people coming to me and say, "Why do you keep telling you have a good life? You have a lovely husband who loves you, who sent you here to a cruise, and he doesn't mind you coming on a cruise, and all the money he's paying for you. And why do you keep telling the same story?" And several people came and told me this, and I thought, yeah, why am I doing this? I came away really feeling I have to change. And at the same time, I met this Turkish lady who I showed my techniques to. I was working not on a professional basis, I was just working for the fun of it. And I showed her my techniques, and I helped her with a pattern that she had of something deep she had. And she was so excited. And I said, "Wow, this works, really good." And then she said, "Come to Turkey and do a workshop, So I came away, and I'm thinking, oh, should I do this or should I do that? Do I know enough? I don't know anything. I'm nobody, because this is what I always was brought up with. And of course, this woman, when she said this, I said, "Oh, wow, I have to do something different. I can't go around telling my sad story anymore. I've had enough of it." And I realized that with all the knowledge I picked up in all the workshops and my intuition, I started working with people and I realized how good I was. And I thought, wow, I'm really good. And then I found my calling. And I've been working in Turkey since 2003, 2004. And I've been going there regularly, many, many times. I've been on TV there. It's been fun. It's been fun. Just, it's like my journey hasn't ended. I mean, I'm always working on something or other. It never ends, of course, but I'm getting there. Becoming a more loving person, non-judgmental, and help people. What they love about the work is that there's so little, no judgment at all. I just sit there talking to them and they can open up to their darkest secrets. And I say, well, don't worry, everybody has this. So we're not bad. Nobody's bad. So I'm teaching that and helping them. So that's what I do.
Wow, and you had to overcome those false beliefs from your childhood that said, I'm nothing, I'm not worthy, because
Yes.
it seems it's proven time and time again that we need to love ourselves before we can fully love other people. They're just mirrors, they're just reflecting the lack of self-love we have for ourselves, but it works both
Absolutely.
ways.
Yes. What I also discovered it was quite strange actually, because we're like iPods. iPods don't have any sound. And whoever comes and plugs into us and they're playing our song. So I say to my clients, if the song that they're playing, for you, it hurts you, it's upsetting you, it means that's what you're thinking yourself. So you go into your iTunes, get rid of your files, delete all the files, and resynchronize your iPod, and then see what happens. Because I did this for myself a few years ago. A friend of mine is supposed to be a very good friend of mine, and I realized that she was saying bad things about me behind my back. And I was thinking, there is something going on, but I kept saying, no, it's something to do with me, something to do with me. I have to clean myself, clean my vibration. I was thinking this all the time. And then one day I discovered through a mutual friend that what she had been saying about me. And one of the things that really, really hurt me was, don't go to Bhanu for therapy. She takes victims and takes their money. And that really hurt me a lot for many months. I was going around, how could she say this? How could she say this? How could she say this? And suddenly one day I thought, oh my God, that's what I say to myself. This is exactly what I say to myself, because I don't have any education. Who the hell do I think I am? Blah, blah. I'm getting too big for my boots and all these things. And then when they pay, I try to give them as much as I could. And it was really a heavy thing. And then when I realized, I said, oh, wow, they're my thoughts. And she was just uh, playing it on loudspeaker for me. And I thought, wow, oh, fantastic. And now I haven't seen her. Stavanger is not a very big town. And she lives like 10 minutes drive. And I haven't seen her for so many years. And I'd say, if I ever see her, I want to give her a big hug and say, thank you. Thank you for releasing me from my stuff. And that's what I'm discovering all the time. Like anything that the world tells me is, if it's good, I've got it inside me. If it's bad, I've got it inside me. So I just say, no more, no more. I don't want this anymore. And it's worked so well, so well. So
Wonderful.
that's what I do. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for saying that. Yeah, we live in a house of mirrors. Everything is a mirror to what's on the inside.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And it's up to us to say, no, I'm not that person. Who am I? And then change my story. No, that's not who I am. That's not who I am. And it's been many years now that nobody has actually hurt me from the outside. And the only hurt I'm working on right now, I'm still working on hurt, is my mother died in January. And a week before, I had made peace with her because I'd went to visit her and everything was really went well. And then she died on the Sunday after I met her. And I feel in a way relief, but at the same time, I feel I should be feeling guilty. So I'm working on that a lot. And also, I have an aunt, her sister. She also has a lot of guilt feelings. And I'm deciding now, I don't want to talk to her anymore. This is enough. She can live with her guilt if she wants. I don't need to. So I'm learning every day. I'm learning every day through the teachings of Abraham, and also everything that's coming to me. The right words are coming to me for myself. So
Beautiful.
that's what I do.
It's an ongoing, it's a never-ending journey, but
Exactly.
it doesn't have to be a big drag. It doesn't have to be like, oh, it can be a
Yeah.
joyful journey. Like, oh, look, I just overcame some beliefs that were not me. And the real me is
Yes.
just pure love and energy. And anything else that says, I'm bad or I'm no good or I'm not good enough, it's all a lie. Those are lies. And
That's what I help my daughter with as well. She comes and she tells me, "Oh, Mama, you need to help me now. I need a session." And she comes and we talk. And I use emotional freedom technique, EFT,
Mhm.
which also I learned from the tapes of Gary Craig from his DVDs. And they are absolutely marvelous. I love Gary Craig. So I use the technique on myself every day. I decided that I'm going to do tapping on myself for something or other, whatever comes up. You say, I need to tap on this. I need to do this, and then I do myself. And Steve and I, we work together. We really do
Nice.
together on. Yeah, yeah. Our marriage has become better. Um, we've been married now soon 35 years in May. And
Congratulations.
thank you, thank you. We've been married a long time, and it was a stormy journey, but now we feel much, much better. We say, yes, yeah, you do what you want, I do what I want, and then we'll have fun together. So last year, it changed a lot for me because I suffered a sickness last year, and they found out that I had a cyst in my ovary. So they removed that. And that was really a big, big turning point for me. And Steve was so worried. My daughter was worried. But I was determined that had to align my energy before I go and get people doing things to me. So that gave me a lot of courage. Get my thoughts in the right order, and then I'll come back. And then I found a wonderful. This was really funny because I wanted to try a traditional Chinese medicine,
Mhm.
and of course Stavanger doesn't have that. And I was thinking, I want somebody. And so a week before I went to the hospital, I Googled, and I found this guy who's like literally 10 minutes drive from where we are, and he's a medical doctor, he's a professor, he teaches other doctors, and he's a traditional Chinese medicine guy as well, and he's from Amsterdam. Wow, I said, Steve, ring this guy, ring this guy. So he rang, and the guy actually came to our house to give me acupuncture and medicine, and he's become a very good friend of ours. So I felt like the universe is just sending my angels. I call them my angels. And I have some friends who gave me healing. I had so much ease with all this operation. And I had the operation in September 9th, October 9th, I went to Turkey. And on my own, I said, right, I'm going to go, I'm going to do my work. And I went, a lot of people who didn't know me, they didn't even know I was sick or anything. My friends looked after me beautifully. And I had a wonderful time. And I have so much love coming back to me now, all the time,
Mhm.
through Facebook all the time. And it's wonderful, really. I'm proud of what I've done for myself. I really am proud of what I've done.
Good. You should be. I love that.
Thank you.
And I don't really recommend specific modalities to people or recommend against anything. Of course, everything's valid. All these methods of healing or, revealing your beliefs to yourself, whatever works for people works. But I love that you
Yes,
said, you went a somewhat conventional route and you had a surgery, but you got your mind in alignment
yes,
first, and that's something that everyone can do no matter what path they're taking, is get into alignment with health. You know, what do you really want? Remember to ask yourself, well, what do I really want? What's the outcome I prefer? And just spend time
Yes.
thinking about that, feeling what that feels like. And then no matter what processes you go through, they'll go well if you stick to your vision. I also love that you'd said having this sickness, you know, brought you together with people. And I hear a lot of stories like that, you know, because there is a silver lining, or there is an ulterior motive, maybe from your higher self or the universe, you know, because sometimes we need sickness to kind of slow us down if we're too crazy busy, or to humble us if we're getting a little too egorific, or somehow we just need to connect and we need to allow others to help us, you know, and there's a lot of beautiful reasons for that. It's not always a bad thing to have a sickness, you know.
This doctor asked me, he said, "Do you see your sickness as your friend?" He called it, they call it cancer, but I still don't want to say cancer because I don't believe I've got cancer. And he said, "Do you see your cancer as your friend or as your enemy?" I said, "It's my best friend, because without that, I wouldn't have changed the way I've changed." And he said, "Wow, I'm surprised." I said, "Why?" He says, "Well, I would have thought you'd say enemy." I said, "No way, no way. All sickness is friend." And it's pointing to what I need to change in my life. And it was ever so funny the way I was also treated at the hospital. The surgeon was saying to me, "Oh, we might have to cut your intestines, and we have to make a pocket outside." And I'm listening to all this, and I'm like, "No, no, that's not me. I don't want to." I said, "I don't want to live like this. I would rather die. I don't want to live like that." And then I said, "I want to go home. I want to go home before the operation. I'll come back on Tuesday. Wednesday is the operation. I'll come back Tuesday. I'm not going to stay here." And she said, "Oh, no, no, you can't go home." And then she said, "Okay." I said, "You told me I was not a prisoner, and you're making me a prisoner." She said, "Oh, yeah, you're right. I won't do this." And then she went off, and she said, "I'll see your blood test." And then she checked the CT scan, and then she came back. She said, "I have good news for you. Your protein level is going up, so it's okay. And also, your intestines are okay, fine. We won't touch it. Nothing will happen. We only take this thing out." I said, "Wow, see," I said, "I knew that." I knew what was. So then they sent me home, and I was at home, and I got acupuncture from this guy and some Chinese herbs. And then I had healing from different people who came to our house all the time. I was like sitting like a queen, and everybody was just coming and giving me things. And I felt truly blessed, truly blessed. And then went to the hospital. The day before the hospital, I saw a vision that it was like, like when you cook chickpeas or something, the white stuff that comes up. And I said to my husband, it felt like they are just taking that white stuff and throwing it out. And that's what it is, I said to him. I saw it, and I said, it's off white, but it's like not heavy, but soft and yucky, to touch. And that's how I saw it in my head. And the day after the operation, the nurse, who was one of the nurses looking after me, was at in the operating theater. And she said to us, this was like a white stuff, and they took it out, and it was like a baby's head. And they said, and the surgeon was so surprised because it came out easily. And I said, "See, I knew that. I knew that. That was my vision." I was so excited. And I said, these are the kind of things that are happening all the time, not only to me, to everybody. And we have to open our eyes. And that's what I help them to see, the abundance they have, to see the love that they have, And I said, look, I have changed. I'm not just saying it because I've studied this stuff and I'm just repeating it. I'm telling you from my heart, because I've been through all this. Everything you've been through, I've been through. You don't feel good enough, you don't feel beautiful enough, I've been through it. You say this is you're fat or you're thin, I've been through all of that. So I said, so if I can change, you can change. And that's the story I want to tell everybody, really. So
Thank you so much for telling that story. And thanks for coming on Spiritual Badass TV. You are certainly a spiritual badass, my dear.
Thank you. Thank you. It's lovely to know you on Facebook and meet you on Skype. Thank you. Bye.